Hello, yes, greetings again. I'm back. Azan has stopped. So I'm sorry, the Muslim leaders may be obliged to hurt me, intimidate me, but that I cannot stop this. And I've put that responsibility on the Muslim leaders. Uh, they're not hurting me, maybe in a very conspicuous, what do you call it, very like covert way. Uh, I apologize greatly because of my health. I cannot stop this, and I've reached that height where, yeah, sometimes I'm very scared, and I feel very like negative. It's like poison inside, very negative feeling, very suffocating feeling that, oh my God, they're going to tell me to pray namaz and all this and come to this religion, is going to save you. Even the Shia marjas, right? This is going to save you. So I should start with something I found out, like the split in Shia Islam. So coming to my Shia marja and what the ruling is for the apostasy and blasphemy against Prophet Muhammad in Shia Islam too, right? Uh, so there was this sheikh I read when I was doing my research on Shia and Sunni. I was also reading about the Mullah Sadra existence, philosophical existence of life, God, and what is God then? Can we be in touch with Him? How can we be connected with Him? So, like that, what Imam Ali has said and all that. Also about seeing God through the heart. If you have a proper belief in God, that I will come later, hopefully, sometime in a live stream, maybe, if I can finish this and my health allows me to what the notes I've made here, maybe show you some ayats or read out to you some ayats that I found discrepancies in. But before I go there, the Sheikhi school start from Sheikh Ahmed Asai. And so he also became very disillusioned with the Shia clerics of his time. And he was in anguish. He was, there's a lot of corruption. It says here in Wikipedia. So this split in Shia imams, like the Sheikhi school, Ismaili, Bori Shias, 12 Shias, Baha'is, and then um, I will go to Sheikh Asai. But before that, reflecting on Imam sayings, Shia commentaries after the Quran verses that have discrepancies, I felt. And I've shown that in my previous videos on Quran verses. Some weren't satisfactory, like they weren't answering my question. And then some things I found, like the mistake Prophet Muhammad made, we are told in Quran Ayat Surah Azab, like on one hand, you're saying he doesn't make a mistake. Akapuya's commentary somewhere under some Quran ayat, I'm forgetting now. But it's very obvious that he made a mistake in Surah Azab, adopting a son, practicing a pagan Arab custom, right? And then we quote the Surah Najm ayat that he doesn't err, he doesn't speak out of his own desire. So um, these kind of things contradictory. Uh, Put me in a more confusion, more doubts coming. Actually, as a Shia, we're not supposed to harm anyone. Like, just seeing Imam Hussein in Karbala, saving Yazid and Yazid's army, giving his all. So when I was doing this research, I was looking uh, for ex-Muslims, more information on online, also on social media, YouTube. I was listening to these ex-Muslims, but some of the ayats and the hadiths were not ours, the Shia from the Shia sources. So that didn't help me anyhow. But at that time, I was following Haris Sultan had come now after Ghalib Kamal. Someone threatened to kill him and his family, and he's in Australia. So I got very this thing in protest to that, even though I could not say I'm in a shock right now, even that I'm an ex-Muslim, but I am. You see, even I don't realize some things in me, uh, you know, which are hidden. So I just put there on my YouTube channel, ex-Muslim Zahara, like that, something like that, for in protest to the death threats coming to an ex-Muslim. I can't, even as a Shia, I could not fathom. Although I had, like I was sharing to show you, maybe we'll discover, and but I had to put it there on my YouTube channel. I'm an ex-Muslim in protest, so I feel very much for the oppressed, and no death threats should be there for anyone, even an ex-Muslim apostate. And I do not agree to killing an apostate, even if it's the ruling in Shia Islam. So I would lean towards Ismailis then, right? Oh, and recently I read about Wilayat. That also will come later on. And you can't, recently I read that you can't, Imam Ali says or someone, you cannot know the essence of God. So then, how do you know God? By the proper religion, just that He is, and then He sends messengers, and you have to rely on the messengers. So if you're sorry, the prayers are going on in the background now, on the loudspeaker. The azan has finished. Uh, so research these ayats. Let me just. I'm gathering my notes. Doubts concerning some Quran ayats. Oh yes, Surah Azab ayat. Prophet Muhammad making a mistake unintentionally. Shia say no, he didn't ever make a mistake. He was infallible because of the Surah Najm ayah. This is so. What else is there? Your companion does not err, nor does he go astray. Surah Najm ayat 2. And then again back to Surah Ahzab, where we are told he made a mistake. Verse 5, assert their relationship to the fathers. The most important part is, and there is no blame on you concerning that in which you made a mistake, but concerning that which your hearts do purposely. Blame may rest on you, and Allah is forgiving and merciful. Shia's Akapuya's commentary, I found that he doesn't make a mistake. Sorry, he doesn't make a mistake. Prophet Muhammad doesn't err. Surah Najm ayat. These are contradictory, but because you see this here in Surah Ashab, assert their, okay, I have to read this, assert their relationship to their fathers. He practiced a pagan Arab custom. This is more equitable with Allah, more equitable. Like what you did was less equitable. You practice a Arab pagan Arab custom, idol worshipping, but that was not equitable. This not so equitable as this is now. what Allah is going to reveal to you. That now you can no more take your. But if you do not know their fathers, so then they are your brethren in faith and your friends. Now, after his father has come, and then Zaid said, no, I want to stay with the Prophet Muhammad. It's too late now, you know. That also, where's the justice in Islam? We're waiting for Imam Mehdi, my mother and I. Um, assert the relationship. Okay, so he practiced the pagan Arab, anyways, and there is no blame on you concerning that in which you made a mistake. But and it's not, anyways. Please go slowly. Look at these verses, then you will, because the sword of apostasy, death penalty, is hanging above my head. That which your hearts do purposely. You mean to say he wasn't God conscious? God could not stop him there? It's too late. They say justice delayed is justice denied. Justice denied to Zaid. Anyways, this point, and this Yusuf Ali translation I've put here. And forcing Zainab bin Josh and Zaid bin Harith to marry Quran ayat 36, Quran ayah actually, 36 in Shia commentary. So let me tell you here that my aunt had also started to do research, late aunt. So she had told me that no, it was a suggestion to from Prophet Muhammad to Zainab bin Josh that marry Zaid. It was just a suggestion. Later on, alas, she's gone. I cannot tell her, see, look at this. And then the beauty ayat is also going to come. Even if the beauty pleased thee, what were we told? Widows. Was helping those who have lost their husbands, uncles, fathers. What you in Urdu? Huh? Imam Hussain, Sahara. Oh, that Noah I'm remembering, or of uh, Shabab ul Momineen. So, बीबियों का सहारा है ना Imam Hussain. What is that? So the Saharas are gone. They're elderly. What do you call them? In English, word is not coming to me. That's why I can never do live. I shouldn't be doing live stream here because of my poor health and forgetfulness. Now I've become very old senile. Where am I? Poor marriage counselor. Okay, forcing Zainab bin Josh, Zaid bin Harith to marry, Quran ayat 36, and Shia commentary. So you can, oh yeah, there, I didn't put the Shia commentary here in my notes. And it behoves not a believing man and a believing woman. This is very difficult for my heart, that they should have any choice in their matter. When Allah and His Messenger have decided a matter, do realize how many he got married to. And even in Surah, this same ayat, we are told in 52 verse that now you can no more marry, even if or exchange wives, even if the beauty pleases you. It's Shias, it's not the Sahabas, it's Prophet Muhammad. So Hayatul Kulub, when I read, my father brought Hayatul Kulub. So I was criticizing Hayatul Kulub. Hayatul Kulub in English translation disappeared from my room after I told Yusuf Zadi or someone on the. This is my father must be behind all this. So you see, Hayatul Kulub, the book my father had brought from Dubai, uh, from Imam Ali Mosque here. They get English translations they were selling. What happened is I saw, sorry, I cannot give reference right now. I saw in Hayatul Qulub, Reddit, that Muhammad likes Prophet Muhammad. Three things: beauty, women, and all. And another, maybe perfume. So something like this was written in Hayatul Qulub. So I remember telling my aunt, she said, no, no, all these ayats have, oh, sorry, hadiths have come because of the Umayyad side. There were people who were enemies of, enemies. We know that Yazid side, although they were so called Muslims, right? So this but I should show, if she was alive, I could have shown her the verse in Surah Azab and also corrected her about not being forced to marry Zaid bin Harith. So there's a whole Shia commentary. You may go to Multilingual Quran. Sorry if I'm not making it easy for you. I've already done this, read the multilingual commentary in some video I've uploaded earlier on. So please check this, all this. So I went back to these Quran ayats and started to see a lot of discrepancies, more and more coming. So I felt whatever it was, maybe our fear, we couldn't even. The first ayat that I had a problem with, Surah Nur, and then second ayat, Surah Azab, verse 37, so brainwashed, maybe fear, a lot of fear. So that's why it's better to just do this for a little while that I've been now starting to do with you is to, now recently when I read, I was so sad that we can't even feel God's essence. Like, what is God's essence? And so, why did Imam Hussein say, on one hand, Imam Hussein said, you know, that if I go here and there for your signs, I would be lost. It's not right. This, what Imam Hussein's saying is, you can find it in his saying. I don't know where he got that from, but Imam Ali says no. So this also is blasphemy. This is like if you say, Ana al Haq, Mansur al Halaj, you're gone. Shias even got Mansur al Halaj. Imam Mahdi was involved in that killing. What do you call it? Of Mansur al Halaj, I think. It was Imam Mahdi's time, yes. I read about it. So my heart thinking, so even if now I do this with you people, of course you will say it's blasphemy. So thoroughly, only the five are thoroughly purified. They have connection with God, and this Prophet of Allah, Prophet, Messenger of Allah, is closer to us than our own selves. Although God is closer to us than our own jugular vein, you can read, you can even watch Khalil Andani is very close to the Shia, um, the problem of evil. So I got like a mad person here, as I am. Uh, Even now, I was like, oh my God, I can't. This is not, I have no connection with God. Except through them, I can have a connection. Proper religion. And then proper religion. So, that negative thought creeps in. That did they, when I was reading Al Kafi, like, did they exploit this power of Allah? That He's unknown, unseen, unknown. Only they can get connected with the true God, one true God, and we through them. Now, how are we to believe? Clear. So there is one thing that in I compared that comforter in the Bible, New Testament. He will not speak out of his own, and there's all that is there, right? I compared, took that from the Bible and compared it to the Quran ayats, which I had at that time. All that I did in Karachi, so it went with the Bible verse, and so that is there. I don't have an answer for that, but you'll say yes. In the previous books, Muhammad's Prophet Muhammad's proof is there, but they change with their mouths and all this. And another ayat now was coming to my mind. So, like the translation problems. Surah Azab, do not take them as lords. Rabbis and your priests as lords, except for maybe there's a comma, I don't know, but how God has written it, uh, that you can take. Why doesn't he say, do not take your rabbis? And these marks also, I found a nooks in it, mistake. So not perfect. Then I found out there are many Qurans, and Osman bin Affan had burned all the Qurans, and just one Quran, his daughter Hafsa, uh, Hazrat Hafsa, Quran was saved. And we say that the true one, you see, will Imam Mahdi will bring the true one, because the marks can change, can make a world of a difference. Like here in Surah Tawbah, ayat 31. Do not take your rabbis and your priests, monks as lords, um, except for Allah, something like this. The ayat is not here. And Masih ibn Maryam. So there's another ayat that do not take lords, anyone. So you'll say the comma you're missing in Arabic, but I found a Nook's mistake in Arabic Quran, Allah, and the Maulana Sahib didn't come, so please keep that into consideration. Then there's the Surah Tahrim, breaking of an oath. My comprehension, my fear, I couldn't challenge the Quran, so to anyways, that Surah Nur ayat there compelled, they will be forgiven. That came as a bomb blast inside. But here, Surah Tahrim, I used to read and think that, maybe talaq, maybe divorce, like you can divorce them. So this is what I felt was the breaking of the oath. He may have said, I'm not, no, I'm not going to divorce you. But some other commentary has come up, which then gave me a shock. Oh, Prophet, why do you, and then reading it properly now, why do you forbid yourself that which Allah has made lawful for you? You seek to please your wives. How many times does it say in the Quran, even in the beginning of Surah Azab? Do not hearken to the hypocrites. These Ummul Mumineen who are hypocrites, annoying him. According to Shia research and all this, then why are you seeking to please your wives and breaking an oath? I know it's not obligatory to, but even then it didn't make sense to me. Breaking of an oath. Uh, and then how he covers himself up, and the Muslims, if we've made it easier for the Muslims. If you make a mistake, it's okay. You've made an oath and you break the oath. That's it. And in the Hadith, Sunni sources, Abu Bakr is like repeating, he's saying, I never break an oath, but, like this. So I also became like, oh, Prophet, why do you forbid yourself? And then looking at the Shia commentary, forget the, like, only this Sunni source I'm bringing, Abu Bakr's. Can you believe this? Okay, there may be, you may say there are external foreign powers exploiting sectarian things, wars, riots in Pakistan, all this. Elsewhere, Iraq, Syria, whatever, however you may pronounce it. Muslims are under all the time and they've lost so much. But you see, this the cause of all this is you cannot put this aside. Religion. Like Mother Teresa says that peace starts at home. I think for peace, first, freedom, you should have the freedom without fear to go into the ayats, look at whatever they're telling you. You should have the freedom to seek truth first, at first. When you grow up, uh, parents should not force their children into this religion. It's a whole, so I feel some whole big mess has happened. And so Jiddu Krishnamurti, thank God I came across his books in Karachi. I bought many of his books, saving money. And I read them and it really resonated with me. Like, the ending of time, where did we go wrong? I was like, so overwhelmed. I wanted to read this book. I bought it, it was in my hand. Like, I'm just telling you how I felt about it. With a dialogue with Dr. David Bohm, the scientist, physi- physicist of his time. And then Surah Azab, verse 52, beautiful girls or women pleasing to Prophet Muhammad. This I've said. Quran ayats were now crumbling down as I read more, and thus it's worth mentioning. I already mentioned this Maulana Saab's incident. When did my turning point come from Shia Islam? We were told in Shia Islam when all avenues of peace are closed, then do jihad, Imam Hussein's example. Maybe I didn't realize what had already crept inside of me. I'll have to start from my inspiration, who was Imam Hussein, the oppressed, or given the grand sacrifice, or who had given the grand sacrifice for God's sake. So I had believed. I had believed that Imam Hussein was the one who had inspired in me that longing and attraction for God who is beyond any feeling, sensing, or finding. But I was wrong. But I was wrong. As I saw, there were others from various religions seeking and needing God or the divine. I'd researched on Sunni Shia differences, remember? I said earlier, so coming back to that, I realized there were still some questions unanswered on Shia Islam. Although we are told that there are imams to guide us one after another, and this earth will never be without a true imam. From the progeny of Prophet Muhammad, his daughter Fatima, I wondered why Shias had a division in themselves, like Ismaili Imam, Bora, Shias, Baha'i, Sheikhi school, Sheikh Ahmad al Asai, etc., and our own Imam in occultation. And since we have in Surah Maida, verse 3, the disbelievers have despaired on this day, but have they? As the Shias tell us, this ayah is for Prophet Muhammad's successors, the Imams. Just to mention here on the side, I used to wonder why so many religions when there is one God and one truth. So back to the point. And then interpolations in Imam sayings are there, as I've heard and read, but our Imams have told us to compare their written work with the Quran and reject it if it goes against Quran ayat. When I read Hayatul Qulub by a Shia religious scholar compiled hadiths of Imams and on Prophet Muhammad's life, I was shocked. I thought if I was there at the time of Prophet Muhammad, would I have been a Muslim? And the answer was not a yes, very faint and unsure yes. Abdul Muttalib's behavior, taking of lots to save Abdullah, and Prophet Muhammad's love for three things: perfume, women, and beauty, I think written in Hayatul Qulub. So this really was shocking. So I asked my aunt who was doing research in Islam, Shia Sunni. So she told me that these false ahadith have crept into Shia books because of enemies of Prophet Muhammad. Later in my research on Quran ayats, I found in Surah Azab verse 52. It is not allowed to you to take women afterwards, nor that you should change them for other wives, though their beauty be pleasing to you, except what your right hand possesses, and Allah is watchful over all things. Yusuf Ali translation, even though their beauty attract thee. This is about Prophet Muhammad, this verse, not about the Sahabas. Oh my God, Shias. So confusion. In short, I realized with all the ahadith and stories written about the Prophet's life and Imam's lives, I would be lost even if I went researching and studying. Recently, I found and realized that the Prophet's progeny, Shia Imams, and our religious scholars, I could not rely upon. Another, so here I couldn't, example I will give later, like there are many. I can go into multilingual Quran and give examples. A mistake he made, he didn't make a mistake. It was unintentional, but in Surah Najm we are told, and even that Satan thing of going against God did make sense to me, and I haven't found an answer, proper answer, from the Shia sources. Even though I read a problem of evil and all this. So another question arises as to why, or and sorry, excuse me, before I proceed, some of the verses and commentaries in Al Mizan, Quran verses, commentaries by Alama Tabatabai didn't give me the answer. Another question arises as to why there would be imams ahadith and their sayings which would not be protected from interpolation. But you would say, well, you again go to the Quran, so it's a, uh, lifetime, some years may go studying and doing this, uh, and go against the Quran ayats. Wouldn't this mean that nothing is protected well and secure from the disbelievers, not even Shia Imam sayings? So Quran is protected and secure from disbelievers. Surah Maida, which means that Quran Ayat 3 of Surah Maida couldn't stand a test of time, even when the guiding Imams from the Prophet's progeny go on. On this day, the disbelievers have despaired. Surah Maida Ayat 3. Again, I'm repeating. Forbidden. So it's see, this day have those who disbelieve despaired of your religion. So fear them not, and fear me. On this day have I perfected for you your religion, and completed my favor on you, and chosen for you Islam as a religion. But whoever is compelled by hunger, not inclining willfully to sin, then surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. More proof that the Shia commentaries of the Quran ayat at times are biased or so brainwashed or in fear or something. He didn't make a mistake, he made a mistake. Here he made a mistake because we make an excuse for him. Like perhaps if you look at the Sunni Muslims, how they make an excuse for Umar bin Khattab when he said that he's delirious, don't give him pen and paper. And al Mu'mineen in Surah Tahrim. Anyways, for example, Surah Azab verse I had a problem with, like Ayat 37 and Surah Nur, Ayat 33. Shias were not addressing those problems that I could see in these ayat. As I had turned to the Shias for an explanation, how could Shias have missed out on Surah Azab ayah that clearly states Prophet Muhammad made an unintentional mistake? Although in Surah Najm verses it states otherwise. So in Surah Nur, now coming to, so please ponder over this. In Surah Nur, ayah 33, look at this failure of presenting the ayah as it should be taken by even the Shias. But it's not taken. Part of this 33 verse of Surah Nur, and do not compel your slave girls to prostitution. That's it. Finish. And if anyone prostitutes them, then surely, what kind of a thing is this? Surely, after the compulsion, Allah is forgiving and merciful. Okay? Please, I've done this so many times that my mind has now gone ding, 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 ding. Screw ढीला हो गया है. Are you scared? And don't tell me that I'm being stubborn now. What are you scared of? If you are scared, please chase, chase, chased, everything chased, right? You see, this man seems like, if, please, just my contemplations and insights, seems to be a very clever man. I've never in my life come across, perhaps, or maybe they were not, but this someone I've known. Like when I read the Jews against the Jews ayat, Surah Jummah, they, why do, the way the sentence is put, like you claim to be friends of Allah, excluding all other people. And when he puts it like when he's friend of Allah and when they are the Mawlas, and Zaid bin Harith was also made a Mawla of him. So that's why the Sunnis say that this Mawla has a very wide, he can be a friend. That's why Imam Ali, they don't take as Mawla when he said, Prophet Muhammad said, Man kuntu Mawla fahada Aliun Mawla. Right? Whoever I am the Mawla of, Ali is the Mawla of. That's why the Sunni Muslims fail to take this Mawla as a serious for succession and all this. Imamat, karma, Zaid ka, you know. Do you see this, or you only I'm seeing this? Maybe you are in fear of some kind of bias. So please take back that. So even it be against your own Sayyids. Yeah, sorry, I have to say this. I know you've lost a lot. Some of you in Iraq, Pakistan, Shias, and many years before. I know a little bit. The Umayyads were after the Ahlul Bayt and all this, but these Imams were very stubborn. I tell you. Oh, excuse me, it just comes up like that. Allah. So this is what I found, and my heart just, or it just had this rock on it. If it burst, it's good because then it's better. But it didn't burst. One rock after another rock. Ali, Hassan, Hussein, Zain al Abidin, Muhammad Baqir. Why can't you see this? Uh, is this the way to put this Surah Nur ayat? Just say prostitution is haram, whether they wish to remain chaste or not. When the believers can have a fear of fornication, Surah Nisa ayat, which ayat is that? Oh, my leg. Oh, my foot. Sorry, excuse me. I should take more D3. Uh, so let those who find not the wherewithal for marriage. Okay, this. But force not your maids to prostitution when they desire chastity, when they desire chastity. बहन में साथ साथ हूँ जरा रुके यहाँ रुके जमीन लरज रही है Nadeem sir was no I just a little bit बहन में साथ साथ हूँ सिना पे हूँ तो क्या हुआ what but if anyone compels them yet after such compulsion is Allah of forgiving most merciful and then in brackets you've put to them very very good Shias even the Sunnis have put to them Hmm. So okay you will say that other ayat sorry we cannot say that prostitution is allowed in Islam okay which would mean prostitution is allowed but no but only forced prostitution is not allowed of chaste girls women anyways you would not say that so considering other ayats in the Quran now I couldn't even rely upon the Shia explanations of Quran ayahs that means my imams thus on my own I went reading and researching the Quran ayats and found contradictions, discrepancies, etc. In short, again, due to this or that. Furthermore, I found through an ex Christian atheist, Ghalib Kamal, how Prophet Muhammad had massacred the Jews of his time, the Bani Qurayza tribe. At first, I was shocked. I couldn't make out what this was. Where did he get this from? Then I probed into this tragedy. How he could have found this out, meaning from which Islamic sources. And to my shock, I found an ayat in Surah Azab again. One translation is completely massacre them. Thus, this was Surah Azab ayat 61, I think, right? Completely massacre them. Thus, I relied upon Ibn Ishaq also Ibn Ishaq's narration. It says that only Ibn Ishaq has written about what Ghalib Kamal told us about the Bani Qurayza killing, massacring. But Shia commentary, Aka Mehdi Puyat says no way, or M.A. Ali commentary, no way. In history, it was not found that Rasulullah ever did this. But thereafter, Imam Ali and Imam Mehdi will do this. So there's a gap. Imam Ali completely massacred, like in the Battle of Siffin, or some battle like that. Sorry, Siffin fell. He mentions, right, Aka Mehdi Puya. You can open your multilingual, Shia multilingual Quran website and tick on that Aka Mehdi Puya M.A. Ali commentary. Surah Azab Ayat, and it's put under Ayat 60, but it's Ayat 61, completely massacred them. History does not furnish one incident where Prophet Muhammad did this, but second ayat is 62. And the commentary says, but Imam Ali did it in Battle of Siffin, and Imam Mehdi will come and do this. So there's a gap between the Imams. And the ayat now goes that this is the way of Allah, unchangeable. So if you're coming to kill me, massacre. So sorry, Muslim leaders, my own share. I must have made it very difficult. There's duty now on you to kill me. But that you have waited patiently, I'm much grateful for that. And but the Shia, my Awqaf here in the Bay, much grateful to Sayyid Ali Al Hakim. So here is the ayah, and I had to see if I can prove through other Quran ayats how unfair or unjust it is to massacre them with a complete massacre. Surah Azab ayah. Okay, I'll start with 61. Cursed wherever they are found, they shall be seized and murdered. A horrible murdering. Shakir translation here. I've taken from multilingual Quran. Yusuf Ali says they shall have a curse on them. Whenever they are found, they shall be seized and slain without mercy. No mercy. So we say that since the Prophet was a mercy, he did not practice this. But Ibn Ishaq says this happened. Your own historian, Islamic. And anyways, so then, not anyways, but please look at this. And so they deserve to be condemned. If they were to persist, they would get themselves seized and killed relentlessly wherever they are found. Sahih International and General Translation, Quran.com. Also, this I've put. The Shia commentary was noteworthy that in his lifetime, Prophet Muhammad never practiced this, even though the later ayat says it's the unchanging way of Allah. Here is the commentary. See commentary, Barat 32 and 33, M.A. Ali commentary, slash multilingual Quran. History does not furnish a single example of any action taken by the Holy Prophet against the hypocrites, but it is there in the sense mentioned here in this ayat. As Allah's promise has to be fulfilled, Allah's as Allah's promise has to be fulfilled means this ayat and the next one. It has to be fulfilled. It's a promise of Allah. What is in our ziyarat daddy, the last Imam Mehdi? Wadai Risalat. As Allah's promise has to be fulfilled, Ali, as prophesied by the Holy Prophet, performed this duty in the Battle of Siffin. Jamal and Naharwan and the living Imam Al Qaim will complete it when he is sent again in this world by Allah. Pool ahista peko. Dun, dun. So you see, you say that these people were coming against Al Bayt, killing and killing and killing. Acha. But Ibn Ishaq, you must read Ibn Ishaq. And these ayats together and contemplate, sit on it, look at it, then come for me. Verse 62, that was Allah's way with those hypocrites, hypocrites in quotation marks, those who have gone before, and you will find no change in Allah's ways. Please go deeply into the matter of Bani Qurayza and the Bani Nadir, since the ayat is here. Now, here the Shia say, Imams have told our religious scholars that no, 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 never practiced by Prophet Muhammad, but later on practiced by Imam Ali, and then later on prophesied Imam Mahdi will come and practice this, do this. In conclusion, then, if we take the Quran as evidence for Prophet Muhammad being a true prophet, then it fails, as I have shown you through some examples here. Discrepancies in the Quran and much negligence, or, like not seeing properly, not weighing what, only that we are the victims. We were killed. We were killed. How you killed Bani Qurayza tribe. Ibn Ishaq, please see. And because the ayat is also here, I found, if I hadn't found this ayat, I would have said, yeah, okay, the Shias are right. They reject Ibn Ishaq's history about that. Bani Qurayza. And as for its own challenge that it has given, doesn't stand a chance with my findings. I don't need to take up that challenge. The challenge of that, if you can produce a verse like this, 10 verses like this. I've given, and so I I broke this challenge. I mean, I would have ignored it because the other verses and all, I don't need to take up this challenge. So just ignore it. But I have broken the challenge of the Quran by providing Khalil Gibran's book, The Prophet, which is a masterpiece. Okay, so what else is there? So I would, after this, I would say thank you so much and much love in humanity to you all. But before I go, uh, shouldn't we look at both sides, like we are told in the ayat about Hazrat Dawood and the two brothers' case in the Quran? Imam Hussein and Yazid. So some say he was cornered by Yazid's army, didn't make them slaves. So Yazid did not make them slaves as such. Like he took them, his army took them from Karbala to Kufa to Sham, but Yazid didn't marry. And as for Bibi Sakina being 4 or 3, maybe Yazid went, because you see, there's a talaq ayat, child divorce. What age? Khomeini had a different ruling for this. If you say they are of age and not a child. So please read that ayat in Surah Talaq also. and see how many children he got married by his Sahabas or what, you know, Shias, we say only Imam Ali, um, true, Abu Dhar, few, Bilal, who was this there that I may be forgetting, sorry. So, and so look at both sides and see Imam Hussein and Yazid, like I've shown you. Some say he was cornered, and yeah, and Yazid didn't make them slaves in the Quran sense. In the Quran sense, like we are told in after Karbala, only their veils, yeah, he snatched his army, but he didn't marry them. Of what you in okay, I put it very Quran sense of what your right hands possess. Uh, so, and then you see how far Surah Baina is true, that we have sent you a clear evidence. Child divorce, what age? Okay, it's open to interpretation, Surah Talaq verse. But you know how the translations of the verses differ even amongst the Sunni Muslims. Surah uh, Tawbah ayat also. Maybe you think there's a comma there, and so accept Allah and comma, and you take Masih ibn Maryam as a Lord, like that. But these marks and commas, uh, where is that original Quran, right? With these marks and commas could be wrong because we don't have the original Quran, do we? It's not preserved, is it? As it should be. We said Imam Ali had it, and then now Imam Mahdi has it. So all these things, I was put in a confusion, not able to trust even my own Shia commentators, commentaries, and all this from the Shia source. Is there, okay, thinking, is there anything else I'm missing? And so you see how mad it can make a person not connected with God. Like when something drastic happens to you. For example, a Shia, doing something, raping you or something, or molesting you. Life becomes very difficult. And how, like, if we are not thoroughly purified, how can we recognize the ones who are? So shouldn't they have been like Mujiji, or like the way I found this, what is here, which now, after reading Imam Ali, that you cannot, and Mullah Sadra, I've read that in Karachi online, uh, that the essence of God cannot be the Mullah Sadra was now from the Sheikhi school. I think he turned to the Sheikhi school rather than the Usuli Shia school of thought. And Asai was in, like me, but many years back. But he went after to find Imam Mahdi because he felt he couldn't rely. Look what is written here, uh, Asai Sheikh Ahmad. Wikipedia. I'll just read this out. Just searching here, going down. Where is it? Sheikh Ahmad diverged from the Usuli school on key issues related to eschatology, the role of the ulama, and the proper interpretation of the mystical hadith of the 12 Imams. These divergences, according to Baha'i scholar Peter Smith, resulted in accusations of hearsay from orthodox members of the Shia ulama and instances of persecution. Hmm, is it coming for me? Against Asai and his followers occurred during and after his lifetime. His teachings were complex. Thus, he often practiced taqiyya, concealing his controversial ideas from his opponents. Here, Nabil's narrative, A History of the Baha'i Faith, describes his spiritual awakening as follows. He observed how those who professed the faith of Islam, oh, finished. Is this not enough? Faith of Islam had shattered its unity, sapped its force, perverted its, oh God, my heart is sinking, its purpose, I feel sick, and degraded its holy name. His soul was filled with anguish. What a tragedy. I also see this. His soul was filled with anguish at the sight of the corruption and strife which characterized the Shia sect of school. Brackets dot dot dot. Forsaking his home and kindred on one of the islands of Bahrain to the south of the Persian Gulf, he set out. Brackets dot dot dot. Brackets closed. To unravel the mysteries of those verses of Islamic scriptures which foreshadowed the advent of a new manifestation. There burned in his soul the conviction that no reform, however drastic within the faith of Islam, could achieve the regeneration of this perverse people. Yani the Shia clerics and all, ulamas, and their followers. He knew that nothing short of a new and independent revelation, as attested and foreshadowed by the sacred scriptures of Islam, could revive the fortunes and restore the purity of that decadent faith. Nabil Azam, the Dawn Breakers. While it is unclear how much of Nabil's interpretation is consistent with Sheikh Ahmad's true feelings, which really are like my true feelings, the underlying motivations for reform and ultimately for messianic expectation become somewhat clearer. Oh, this is such a bad. Dreams and visions. He experienced a series of dreams and visions. In one such dream recounted by him, he believed that he was granted permission to transmit knowledge by each of the 12 Imams. In another dream, he saw Imam Hassan teaching him Quranic verses. I've called out to Imams founding the Sheikhi school. So this is all in Wikipedia about Sheikh Ahmad al-Asai. Ahmad bin Zain al-Din bin Ibrahim al-Asai. Oh, this is how I feel, but I'm asking you to see the Quran discrepancies now, which even Sheikh Asai did not show. So where will I be? God knows how they're going to mince my meat, you know. So I don't know how I've been saved. Much grateful to those who have endured, even though this be against your religion, your faith, and your duty. as a Muslim from your Sharia. Okay, much, much grateful. Lots of love to humanity. Please choose. Okay, no, wait a minute. Before I go, no, I shouldn't go now. What is this which is here? Huh? So, thoughts don't interfere. Because then, okay, later on I'll do the shaitan again, back to the. So, do you think we are not connected with God? We can't find Mullah Sadra and Imam Ali saying so that God cannot. Someone asked him, then how do you worship God? He said, I would not worship him if I did not see him. The heart sees. He said that the heart uh, acknowledges him or something through proper religion, knowledge of proper religion, intellectual. Yani the heart, when the mind, oh God, knowledge. So you see, Jiddu Krishnamurti was very, very important for me that I came across him. Very, very fortunate. Let's say more fortunate than millionaires. If I was well and I was telling myself, put my needs, if I just had not some little things and read his book, saved money, and get to see this, oh, it was very, very wealthy. I was very fortunate to come across Jiddu Krishnamurti. These are the times where you have knowledge on your fingertips. So please make the most of it and do not fear. So, in first, they do not fear. So you can see this, or you don't have to go like मुजराए खल्क Ali Akbar ka gale ja dekha. Like that. That's how I used to pass by some verses that sorry, I no, I don't know. I'm not sure. No, I can't say anything. I can't challenge the Quran, right? Uh, the fear does this, and we are told conditioning the greatest wisdom. This is the Quran and all this. But just for once, look at this for the sake of truth and justice. Then you can come back and you can kill me, mincemeat me. Hopefully, may Allah find me the God of the pagans, Bhagwan, whoever, the true, divine, truth, ultimate, find me patient as you. Like, I will then put my head, like we are told Ismail did to his father's dream. May God, may I surrender just once, just once. May we figure out what we keep doing wrong, why the good times never last for long. This is a song, American movie, The Last American Virgin, the soundtrack from there. Okay, so thank you very much. I'll continue later. I need tea.